I would like to spend a few moments going over my experience with upgrading my coilovers on my Nissan Maxima. So I went to springrates.com, which is actually bc.springrates.com. I put in my year and model of my vehicle, and when you hit go, it'll select the correct springs for your car, model A316 body type. When you click this and you select the 1.2 inches, you can upgrade your springs. And in this case, this has been resolved. At this point, the problem has been fixed. It used to allow you to upgrade the front and the rear to Swift springs. You can still do it if you happen to scroll down here and you see spring upgrades. There's a set of 4. You'll create a situation where you'll have this kit right here and you upgrade. So as you can see, I went with the Swift Springs 4 upgrade, $320, and I added it to my cart. You see my computer selected the right year model, but it still allows you to select this upgrade kit. And this is where my problem started. So after making the order, I received this kit, which has Swift springs on the coilovers, and the rear has separate shocks and springs. They're called divorce springs, I guess. And it has this gold bottom mount in this top plate. This is the new strut compared to the old one. This is adjustable so you can get the height closer in size to the original. Now, just to show you that when ordering the springs, if you look at the specifications, you'll see the actual correct part, or the part that should come with this kit, which is the 6299 190 and 7Ks of spring rate for the rear springs. All right, so the next step was we got the new springs shipped out, or the correct springs shipped out. I went in and replaced the old spring, this rubber grommet, the spring itself, keeping the bottom mount that you can't see that's down here in the lower control arm, with the new spring listed 6299190007. And after doing that, we had an issue. We still had a situation where the car was way too low, resulting in the suspension or the car rubbing on the tire and being way too low with the 190 springs in there, and creating a situation where the spring, the collar, the top collar, was at its completely bottom, so that you're using the full height of that top mount to make up the distance between the top of the spring and the bottom of the car. As you can see, it's very extended. After a little bit of effort, I was able to work out getting these new springs, which is part number 62972555008, which is a taller spring. It's an 8K spring. You can see it compared to the stock OEM spring. Here's a picture of how the spring looked with the kit spring that they suggest. This is the 190. As you can see, the top hat is completely extended. And after changing that spring out, you can see here the 190 spring, the 255 spring, and the OEM spring, and the difference of how the new spring looks installed. In this case, I wanted it to be as low as possible, which meant bringing the top hat pretty much all the way up. As you can see, I can still bring it higher if I need. I have a lot of extra space now to bring it higher. And this brought me down to exactly where I wanted to be, which was exactly a 1 inch gap. So after installing the new spring, the 255 spring with the bottom plastic that came off the OEM spring and the new BC Racing top hat, I was able to get my car to sit exactly how I wanted it. It's a slightly lower in the front here, but that's just a matter of me adjusting the front spring to match the back. And so here's a close-up of the spacing, which is pretty close. It's a little under an inch, or right about an inch. It's a tight 2-finger. So I am much happier with the taller springs that was provided. It's allowing the car to sit just how I wanted it, which I did. I wanted what they said, 1 to 2 inch drop, and I'm probably a little bit lower than 2 inches. In the back, I'm probably more at 3 inches, but it's just how I want it, with very good spacing. Now that is as low as I can go in the back, but that's fine for me. The front is a little bit lower, but the car handles great with this configuration, so I'm perfectly fine with it. And it's definitely much lower than it was stock.